Okay, so hello and welcome everybody. I have this great honor to keep you awake after lunch. Hopefully I will manage. My name is Łukasz Paciorkowski. I'm from GBS Poland. I'm working for IBM for more or less 8 years. And today I would like to talk to you briefly about innovation and how we can manage it. How we can make that the IBM through us is innovative company. So without further ado, by the way, I'm the architect, executive architect working in GBS, as I mentioned. I'm working with the clients across CE and Europe. So I hope I can show you some hands-on experience from myself and the colleagues with whom I'm working and whom I met during my journey in IBM, how we approach the innovation. So, a few things which I would like to talk about today is what is innovation. In fact, innovation became a buzzword. We are talking that everything is innovative, but what in concrete it is. Then I would like to give you some explanation or example how to stimulate the innovation within our company and within ourselves, within our clients' organizations. Why IBM can be innovative, and I will try to explain you why I'm saying that can be. In fact, it depends on us how we act, if IBM will be perceived as an innovative company. And then where to search the inspiration for the innovation. So without further ado, let me show you this chart. Basically, the moment I joined IBM in 2006, I was bombarded with this message that IBM has patents, IBM has research labs, IBM is the most innovative company in the world. But when I checked my work, what I was doing with the clients, it was basically not so spectacular as, for example, coming up with the new magnetic disk or anything like that. I was implementing big financial systems, I was doing integration, I was doing OCRs, not so spectacular things. And I was thinking, maybe I'm not in the same IBM which they are all the time talking about. I mean, something is wrong. And then I became quite depressed because I said, maybe it's me, I'm doing wrong things. Maybe I'm just not innovative and I should quit IBM. And this made me think, and this made me step out from my comfort zone and do one thing which you can do when you cannot come up with your own answer. I started to ask more smarter people than me. And I was lucky enough to meet some of them, which really inspired me to go deeper into the innovation topic. So first thing which was important for me to understand is that innovation not always means invention. You don't have to sit in the research lab to be innovative. You don't have to come up with the new mathematical equation to be innovative. So the question is, what is innovation? One of my mentors in innovation space, Clive Harris, he was telling me, well, your client definition is the innovation. Basically, depending what your client thinks is innovative, it means it is innovative. That's end of story. There is also many other definitions of innovation. One of them is saying it is bringing new ideas or the old ones, putting them into such a way that they are bringing new value for our customers. So there are two important parts in this definition. It's a client and value. So this helped me to understand that even my work, boring implementation of the systems, SAP, integration, it can be innovative. It can be also have influence on me, how I'm doing my work. My work also can be innovative in the way how I'm working. So, stating that, is it innovative? I'm not sure if the cow agrees, but the guys inside, probably yes. They built something which didn't exist before from the parts which they had available. Rain is not going on their heads, so it's probably innovative. So you can see that the innovation is something which everybody can treat differently. Now I want to show you some perspective. There are some characteristics of innovation, especially right now. They are very important because the things are changing. And Mike, in the beginning of our sessions, he was talking about it. Piotr was talking about it. And Aleś was talking about it, that things are changing extremely rapidly. When we are looking at the 50s from the last century until our current year, there were different topics. Of course, they are not all of them, but some of them. And they had time to sink in, people could get doctorates. They can, work with years with those technologies. Right now, when we are going to our times, it's more and more rapid. Every quarter we have something new. Every year there is a shift in a change. So we have to be really fast in adapting the technology, and we as a technical leaders, we need to understand what's going on. But it's not all. It's not only that it's changing very fast. It's also immense amount of things which are happening at the same time. So we have this confluence on all of the technologies together. They are bringing value to the client, and we have to understand all of them. The moment when we are silos-oriented technical leaders is over. You need to know so many things from so many disciplines to propose something innovative to the client. And this we have to remember, that as a technical architect specialist, this should be our mantra. We should be Leonardo da Vinci's of technology right now. Another interesting concept. This concept was introduced to me by Tony Martinez. He is a distinguished engineer working on interface design in projects. And basically, it's interesting to know that IBM was one of the first companies who was producing tablets. It was in 1990s, and basically we had the product which was called Newton. It was more or less tablet. And he came up with this awesome idea that we have this small device, and what if we turn it around, and the screen should turn around as well. And he made a patent. He wanted to make a patent out of this idea. He put this idea to the patent board in IBM, and they said, nah, why somebody would like to turn his laptop or whatever upside down? This is really not, it's strange. Why do you bother us with this? Funny thing enough, he managed to push this patent through, and many years later, in our year, most of the patents which Apple, Google are using when it comes to the rotating the screen, they have to refer to his patent, which was done a long time ago, and nobody really understood why he wants to do that. So this map he showed me as an example of innovation approach. Basically, everybody knows this. From the very beginning of your life, you see this map. But it's just shown upside down. And suddenly, new patterns emerge. Suddenly, Australia is on top. So innovation has something, should trigger your thinking into different ways, looking at the same problems in different ways. Let's move forward. The other thing, we can learn a lot from the history of innovation. Basically, all of those technologies or topics, they appeared in the specific time, and they made it. They stayed with us, and they were very important and essential for our life. Why I think I want to talk about you, because this shows a really nice example, is of course sliced bread. Yeah, you got it right. It's about a bread which is pre-sliced, and you can buy it in the shop. Why I want to talk about it? Sliced bread was invented probably the same moment as the bread was invented. It's obvious that you can slice it and sell it as a sliced one. But what for? Well, there was no trigger to sell it before. So the idea was, we need toaster. Then it makes really sense to sell sliced bread. But also, the toasters were available before the sliced bread really kicked in with the market. But what was wrong is that those toasters were very expensive, big, and not really functional. So the moment which those two, let's say, technology came together, sliced bread and the good toasters, it kicked in, and it changed everything. So it gives us some kind of idea that to be successful in innovation, few topics have to come together. Some of them are appropriate timing. It's a good time when the users can consume the value. Not every great idea always will kick in, because it's too early, too late, and so on. And there has to be, of course, market demand and the maturity of the technology around. Our Newton tablet, probably it was a good product, but the technology was not too good to make it very usable. That's why Apple, a few years later, kicked in our market, and they are leaders there. So let's leave the examples, and I want to show you very complex model right now.
why IBM is desired partner for innovation and can be desired partner. Bear with me, it's a very complex model. It's from Jeffrey Moore, one of the Moores who are coming up with cool ideas. It's called current context. Basically, model looks like that, more or less. Okay, it's very complex, so let's make it even more complex. I know I lost you totally now, you don't know what's going on, so let me just walk you through this complex model. Core, it means everything which is differentiating us from the other competitors. Context is something which most probably everybody has and we don't care about it. We need to have it, but it doesn't bring the additional value. Non-mission critical things are the one which are really not impacting our business in a significant way, and the mission critical is something we really focus on. So the model looks like that. There is a process. This life cycle process can be applied to the services, technology, even people. So first stage is invent. Basically what we are doing here, we are trying to come up with the new idea, something which really is differentiating us from the others, but it's not yet in our mainstream. Then we are trying to deploy it and make it work. For example, like some of our products from the TAP, IBM Technology Adaptation Program. So they are there, they work, but they are not yet at scale. Then we try to manage them in the efficient way. So we are putting processes, we are trying to optimize it, etc. To, at the end, try to free up the resources so they can invent something else, and we just keep it on the low cost because we have to have it. Good example is the loyalty card in the airlines. Basically, you have this miles and more card and so on. One American company invented it. They were first. They moved to the production. Everybody else started to see, oh, they have such a great product. We want to have it as well. So they started to think about this program as well. The moment the first film was already here, everybody started to have it and roll off the loyalty cards as well. So at the end, this firm came up with the idea first, but now it's the commodity. They don't really want to spend too much time on it. Let's move forward. Why I think IBM is the one company which can cover it all. You can have innovations in all the quadrants. They're a bit different. And we have capabilities to cover them all. All of our departments, they have a specific role, but working together, they can cover any kind of innovation we would like to. Moving forward, as I'm conscious of our time, let me show you yet another very important and very complex model. Basically, as an IBM, we have methodology for everything. So how to stimulate innovation? Basically, very simple approach. Few steps. We are generating ideas, discussing them. We are collecting them in the themes, checking what is really commercially available and what we can do with it, and then delivering it. Now, that's important to notice two things. Never go to the client and tell them that you know their business better than they. They are running their business every day. They know it better. And a lot of examples are showing that to generate all of those ideas in the step first, it is from the client. Client has all the knowledge. They could probably do innovation by themselves, but they don't have capacity to really stimulate it. So we are coming in as an IBM, and we are stimulating a client to tell us what are your ideas. Then we can put it, discuss it a little bit, optimize, go for the theme selections, initiate developments with the client, and then deliver the projects. So basically, one very quick story, Clive Harris, distinguished engineer from UK, who was showing me this model. He was saying he was working for the bank, and he invented this role, Chief Innovation Officer. So he was working with the bank, stimulating the innovative ideas. And they liked him a lot, and they said, so now you should help us to save some money on the ATM cash machines. And he had no idea about it. And he was supposed to run a huge workshop with the guys who knows everything about the business. He knows nothing. So he came up with this approach. He used this approach. In fact, he used the knowledge of the client to collect the ideas, refine it, and at the end, they managed to save a few £1 million a year from the ATM cash machines because of consolidations of vendors, etc., etc. Very powerful. What is interesting as well, from IBM perspective, is that we have quite a few tools which help us to stimulate and drive the innovation. I will not go into details in all of them. I know that we have the next presentation in few sessions which will talk about also about the innovation, and probably we'll go deeper into those. Some which are important to mention are the Global Technology Outlook. Mike was talking about it. Every year it is refreshed. It is the great channel for the ideas, what we can innovate, where we can innovate. Also, IBM Business Values Institute for the C-suite studies. Great source of ideas, what we can do better and innovate. First of a kind, very nice program. And lately, we heard about Speed POC. In 2 days in IBM, you can get quite significant amount of money to make your POC, your proof of concept with the client. You get the real money to deliver it in days, 2 days. So, few inspirational, at least for me, quotes, which I try to show you to make you think that the innovation will not happen by itself. You really need to drive it. If IBM wants to be innovative, you need to be innovative. So this quote is telling us one thing. Basically, everything is working fine, nobody wants to innovate, because nobody wants to destroy the nicely built model. But the moment something starts to go wrong, there is no resources, no time to act. So never stop inventing, never stop to be innovative. Future is still in the future. Well, that's very similar. You should not think that we have time. I showed you on one of the slides that the technology theme are going faster and faster. They're changing. So Kodak did this. They saw what is going on the market. They saw that some Canon, Nikon, they were coming with the digital photography, and they did pretty much nothing. They said, well, it's in the future. And almost from one day to another, Kodak stopped to exist because nobody is using the normal films anymore. Anticipate black swans. Black swans, for you, those who do not know what it's about, we do not have black swans in Europe. And this saying was used to describe the case which is unlikely to happen. But gee, then we went to Australia, and guess what? We have black swans. So nobody expected it, but it's true. There is a great book from the Nicholas Taleb, Black Swan. It's about the financial crisis, in fact. Everybody had the data. Everybody saw what's going on. Nobody understood that we are going into big crash. And once the crash was there, everybody was saying, it's obvious. That everybody should see that we are going into this direction. So it's important to understand and start to be quite nervous when everybody is saying everything is good. Then we as a technical leader we should start to dig deeper and say, is it really good? Can it be better? Can we change something? One more thing, just to give you the guidance if you don't know to go left, right with your innovation. Customer is at the end. Whatever you're doing, somebody has to buy it or use it. So if you don't know what to do, ask yourself what your customer wants. That's a quotation from the Gamble CEO. He was appointed as the CEO the moment when the Procter & Gamble first time from many years they had decline in their revenue. And he came to the firm and he saw that we stopped to listen to the customer. We are just selling random products nobody wants. He put the customer in the middle of their business and they regained the market share. One more thing, innovation should not destroy what we already created. So there is always this tension between sustainability of the business and innovation. And we have to remember that the sustainable business is bringing us money, which can fund the innovation. So we should keep healthy balance between those two. Nice article in the Harvard Business Review about this issue, to remember that innovation is not the only thing which matters, but is very important. And the last one, innovation should not be something that we are stumbling upon and we say, hooray, we innovated. It can be managed process. It can start with yourself, how you are working, how you're working with your customers, what you are selling to your customers. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is don't wait until your manager will tell you what is innovative. It's too late. Don't wait until your hairdresser will tell you what is innovative. It's definitely too late. You need to know what's going on the market, in the clients, and you need to be first. So that's the quotation from myself, basically. And I hope it's a quotation also from from you and your peers, that you as a technical leaders, you need to innovate. Nobody else will do it for us. It's on our responsibility. Never before technical community was so important to the business. And everybody before was talking about the same thing. Business relies on technology. We are technological leaders. If we do not innovate, business do not innovate, we are doomed. So, I have a challenge for you. We are meeting here 200 people, technical leaders, and everybody out there, wherever you are, looking at the computer screens, I challenge you to innovate. Do not fall asleep. Do not fall asleep on my session as well, but do not fall asleep in general. I want you to go and try to find the ways where you can innovate and bring some new value to the clients. With that, thank you very much. We have a question.
Yes, I have a question from Pratip Trivedi from India. Having thousands of patents in IBM pockets, we are not cashing on these aggressively. Looks like we need to get into a specific system of engagement for all these innovations across various business units and sectors within IBM. Can you please share your thoughts on this?
Definitely agree. This is what I said in the very beginning. I saw all those patents and I didn't feel we are innovating. This, that we are inventing something new in our laboratories, is great because we are ahead of everybody. But then it's our job to really take this innovation from research and try to implement it somewhere. Without implementation, there is no value. Without value, we are not innovative. We are just very inventive. So I agree with that totally. We need to work closely with research to understand what is new and try to push it to the market. That's the value we can create. Any other questions?
I have two more from the TLE.
Okay.
Hans Mestag from Belgium. Where can we get more information on the SpeedPOC program? The Speed POC program, sorry.
So let's do this. We will post the link on the forum because I obviously do not remember where we can find it on our huge W3 page structure, but we will do that. We will do that definitely. And I encourage you to use it because that's the first time in the history when we got some money and we need to spend them. If we won't spend them on Speed POC, they will be lost. So it's up to you. Okay?
I see another question popping up from Aziz Saleh in Toronto. Should business process improvement go hand in hand with technical innovation?
Obviously, from my perception and how I see it, definitely yes. Basically, the moment when we are talking about business, our, again, role as a technical leaders is to translate the business problems on the technology and technical level. So whatever we have there in our IBM labs, research, and so on, let's try to bring it to this new business model, which, of course, innovation itself can be about the business model. We do that as well. But technology is always in the background. Doesn't matter if you are in the cloud, mobile, there is always some hardware and technology behind to innovate. Thank you again.
One question from my side.
Yes, dear CTO.
What kind of measurement would you use to measure the innovation or innovation level? I assume that this is not the number of patents.
No, I don't. I think it's again going back to one of the first slides which I showed. Innovation is about value for the client. So the client will tell us if we are innovative. If they are coming to us, asking us to come up with the solutions for their complex problems, it means that they, who do know their business the best, they cannot come up with it, and we are the innovative partner. That's one measurement which I would use, our clients.
I like the answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Łukasz, and let's thank you together by applause to Łukasz.
Thank you.